Okay.
Perfect, thank you. Stop sharing and mute yourself, please. Thank you. Very warm welcome, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, friends, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thank you very much for joining for the information session on COVID-19. I'm just here to indicate that the Director General has been delayed. He should be with us in the next 5 minutes, so I very much appreciate your patience, your indulgence, whilst we wait for the DG to be able to join us. With that, thank you very much, and we shall be back with you very shortly. Thank you. Thank you very much again, ladies and gentlemen, and again our apologies for the delay. We now recognise the Director General has been able to join us for this information session on COVID-19. Again, we will have presentations from 6 regions, but also we have the honour of some special guests visiting today. Minister of Health of the Federal Republic of Germany, Federal Minister of Health, Mr. Jens Spahn. Welcome, and also Dr. Olivier Véran, the Minister of Health of France. Welcome, thank you very much. As per usual, we have the Director General to provide some opening remarks. DG, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much. Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends. I think I will only say welcome few words because we're running out of time and give the floor to our guests. So good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to our weekly member state briefing on COVID-19. Today I'm delighted to be joined by His Excellency Jens Spahn, Minister of Health of the Federal Republic of Germany, and His Excellency Olivier Véran, Minister of Solidarity and Health of the Republic of France. As you know, both Germany and France have a difficult struggle against COVID-19, and both ministers will be presenting their experience. Of course, we will have also others today. I also welcome the Honorable Minister from Ethiopia and representatives from the Bahamas, Cook Islands, Morocco, the Slovak Republic, and Timor-Leste, who will also share their experiences with us today. So I will stop there and Chair, back to you in order to give priority to our presenters today. I will say if there is anything maybe in the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director General. And of course, at the end of the session, we will have an opportunity for questions and answers from all delegates of this meeting. With that then, it's my pleasure to please give the floor to Dr. Olivier Véran from France to provide our first presentation. Dr. Véran, you have the floor.
Mesdames, Messieurs, chers amis, tout protocole respecté, I'm very proud to be here in front of you today to talk about the way France fighted against the COVID-19. If you don't mind, I will talk in French for the rest of my presentation. It will be more fluid. L'épidémie a été forte en France. Nous avons évité à plusieurs reprises qu'elle ne démarre, notamment avec l'identification précoce de clusters dans plusieurs endroits du territoire français, avec mise en isolement de toutes les personnes contaminées, des tests très larges en population. Et un jour, il y a eu la bascule, à la fin du mois de février, à la suite d'un grand rassemblement de 2000 personnes, une communauté évangéliste dans le nord-est de la France, qui ensuite s'est disséminé dans tout le pays. Et 10 jours après ce rassemblement, il y a eu énormément de clusters qui sont apparus et nous avons dû passer un stade différent de gestion de la crise. Et nous avons été durement frappés. Aujourd'hui, l'épidémie est en recul depuis plus de 10 semaines sur notre territoire, alors que nous avons levé le confinement. Sauf à Mayotte et en Guyane, 2 îles, notamment en Guyane, où la situation est extrêmement préoccupante et la situation s'aggrave du fait de la proximité avec le Brésil, et où nous avons décidé hier soir de nouvelles mesures de protection de la population. Au total, il y a eu 160 000 cas confirmés en France, 75 000 patients hospitalisés guéris, 29 000 personnes décédées, 20 000 sont décédés à l'hôpital, 10 000 dans les établissements pour personnes âgées. Quand on compare ces chiffres avec les données de l'Institut national des statistiques, l'INSEE, on voit que l'INSEE a objectivé une surmortalité pour la période de 20 à 25 000 morts par rapport à l'attendu, par rapport aux années précédentes. Nous déclarons 29 000 morts, signe que nous avons peut-être déclaré, ou peut-être qu'un certain nombre de personnes décédées du Covid sont morts d'autres causes que le virus. Nous avons été obligés de mettre en place un confinement dur pendant plusieurs semaines dans notre pays. À partir du 16 mars, nous avons fermé les commerces, nous avons fermé les écoles, nous avons interdit les sorties, sauf exception. Nous avons complètement arrêté la vie sociale, économique, démocratique en annulant le deuxième tour des élections municipales. Le Parlement français est resté ouvert, le Sénat et l'Assemblée nationale, tout du long. Nous avons levé le confinement progressivement à partir du 11 mai et nous pilotons la situation sanitaire avec des indicateurs précis, c'est sur les slides suivantes, des indicateurs précis. Nous regardons le taux de positivité, le taux d'incidence, qui est aujourd'hui en dessous, aux alentours de 5 pour 100 000 habitants. Nous suivons de près le taux R de reproduction du virus, qui est inférieur à 1. Nous avons changé d'indicateur, c'est pour ça que vous voyez une courbe qui part vers la hausse, mais c'est parce que nous sommes passés à l'indicateur de positivité des tests au lieu de prendre l'indicateur d'hospitalisation. Nous avons vidé les réanimations que nous avions été obligés d'augmenter dans des proportions jamais atteintes dans notre pays. Plus de 9 000 lits de réanimation occupés en permanence contre 5 000 lits habituellement, et 17 000 patients admis en réanimation au total. Nous réalisons des tests PCR, nous en faisons environ 250 000 par semaine. Nous en faisons autant qu'il y a de personnes qui veulent être testées, mais les gens veulent de moins en moins être testés. Mais néanmoins, vous pouvez observer que le cinquième indicateur, c'est le taux de positivité des tests. Il est de 1,5%, ce qui veut dire que près de 99 personnes sur 100 testées est négatif pour le coronavirus, ce qui veut dire que nous avons un testing large. Nous faisons du contact tracing avec 3000 personnes mobilisables sur tout le territoire national pour réaliser cela. Et nous avons un outil numérique qui s'appelle Stop Covid. 2 millions de Français ont téléchargé Stop Covid. Ça augmente. L'outil a été mis en place il y a une dizaine de jours. Donc nous sommes en train de promouvoir cet outil pour assurer la surveillance. Nous avons également opéré une stratégie importante pour faire face à une éventuelle deuxième vague, d'abord en préparant encore davantage nos hôpitaux. Nous passons à 12 000 lits de réanimation équipés en respirateurs. Nous avons fait des stocks de médicaments de réanimation pour pouvoir traiter 30 000 personnes si c'était nécessaire, c'est-à-dire nous prévoyons une deuxième vague qui pourrait être plus ample que la première si elle devait survenir, et nous sommes prêts pour faire face à cette situation. Nous avons des masques à ne plus savoir qu'en faire aujourd'hui. Ça a été très compliqué comme pour tous les pays du monde et aujourd'hui nous avons un grand nombre de masques, ce qui nous a permis de reconstituer un stock d'état tout à fait cohérent. Nous avons assez de tests pour faire 150 000 tests par jour, c'est-à-dire que s'il y avait une augmentation du nombre de cas, nous pourrions totalement suivre cette augmentation de cas et nous avons mis en place un plan de protection des personnes vulnérables, isolées et des personnes âgées fragiles pour ne plus avoir à mettre en place de confinement généralisé. Nous avons fait le choix de sortir de l'état d'urgence sanitaire, qui était la loi qui nous autorisait à mettre en place un confinement. Ça ne veut pas dire que si la situation l'imposait, nous ne serions pas amenés à revenir en arrière, mais nous partons du principe que nous devons gérer une éventuelle deuxième vague différemment. Et puis enfin, nous avons fait plus de 600 évacuations sanitaires par hélicoptère, par avion, par train sanitaire à destination de tout le territoire national, mais également de nos voisins. Et je remercie Jens Spahn qui a accepté plusieurs dizaines de malades dans les réanimations allemandes. J'ai remercié le ministre suisse ce matin qui a fait de même, ainsi que le Luxembourg. Cette coopération nous a permis de sauver des vies et a permis de faire en sorte que jamais, à aucun moment, nos hôpitaux ne soient plus en situation d'accepter des malades. Je vous le disais, donc nous nous préparons pour une éventuelle deuxième vague et nous faisons une évaluation. C'est même 121 patients français qui ont été transférés en Allemagne, bien plus que quelques dizaines, et du don de matériel de la part de nos voisins et amis allemands, et je crois que ça compte énormément de le souligner. Et donc nous sommes préparés à toute éventualité dans l'hypothèse d'une nouvelle vague, et nous tournons évidemment vers l'international avec du don de matériel. Nous sommes en train de procéder à un don important de respirateurs à destination de l'Inde. J'ai annoncé ce matin 100 millions de masques donnés à l'OMS pour la distribution. Dernier point, la France a constitué un stock important de masques destinés au grand public, qui sont des masques qui répondent à des normes de filtration, qui filtrent le virus, avec en moyenne 90% de filtration, donc presque le même niveau de normes que les masques chirurgicaux, qui ont l'avantage d'être lavables, réutilisables, conservables longtemps et qui ne se périment pas. Et comme nous avons ce savoir-faire désormais, eh bien nous mettons aussi à disposition des pays qui seraient évidemment intéressés pour pouvoir protéger leur propre population. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much for that presentation from France. It's now my honor to introduce Mr. Jens Spahn from the Federal Minister of Health of the Federal Republic of Germany. Mr. Spahn, Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you very much indeed. Good afternoon, everyone. At least good afternoon here in Geneva, and for all the others, good morning and good evening. I would like to thank the WHO for this great opportunity to speak during the WHO Member States information session today. Global health and the support to WHO are key topics in the current pandemic. This is why I have to come to Geneva to discuss ways to further support WHO at this critical moment in time. And together with my colleague and friend, the French Health Minister Olivier Vardhan, I had very promising discussions with Director General Tedros. But I was also asked to give you an overview of Germany's response to COVID-19. Let me start with this and the next slide. Let me give you some facts about the epidemiological situation in Germany. So far, we have managed through this all very good, but that makes us not overconfident, but humble and grateful. As of now, we have around 230 total cases per 100,000 inhabitants, amounting to approximately 190 cases in total. Sadly, just under 9,000 deaths have officially been reported. Current estimates indicate that we have around 6,000 active cases. When you look at the epidemiologic curve shown on the slide, you will see that the peak in Germany was reached in mid-March with around 5,000 new cases per day. To further flatten the curve is our goal. Currently, we experience a big localized outbreak in North Rhine-Westphalia. This outbreak is associated with a meat processing plant, as it is, as far as I'm aware of it, in many countries of the world. At this point in time, we have a testing capacity of around 1 million PCR tests per week. In fact, right now, in the past weeks, we have done between 400,000 and 500,000 tests per week that were demanded by doctors, hospitals, by the people. Testing, but targeted. This is a key component of our strategy. Next slide. So far, Germany's response can be roughly split up in 4 phases. First, awareness and monitoring refers, and that's phase 1, which began in January. Contingency plans were adapted to the situation and activated at all levels. We intensified our disease surveillance capacities and initiated a digital system to monitor ICU bed capacity. Additional public hygiene campaigns were set up at an early stage. During this time of utmost uncertainty, constant and close exchange with international partners was crucial. Fora like the G7, the Global Health Security Initiative, the EU Health Security Committee, and of course, WHO provided added value. Next slide. Phase 2 is characterized by massive response operations and the lockdown. We were anticipating the pandemic wave. Hence, elective surgeries in hospitals were postponed to free up capacity for potential COVID-19 patients. Financial compensation was provided to hospitals. In addition, we financially incentivized the creation of additional intensive care beds. PCR testing capacities were massively increased by our largely decentralized, robust lab system. We ramped up the supply of personal protective equipment and ventilators. This was and still is a challenge. In addition, surge staff was provided to the local health authorities. Teams of containment scouts were established. Test, track, trace, and treat was and is at the center of our response strategy. Like many other countries, we had to implement a partial lockdown. Schools, restaurants, cafes, and hotels, as well as cultural facilities, were closed. Where necessary, existing legislation was adapted. For example, the Protection Against Infection Law was amended. All of this was and is accompanied by intensified risk communication. One aim of our campaign is still to counter the epidemic of fake news. But we are not looking only at ourselves and how to protect our own citizens. In this situation, global solidarity is key. Patients from other countries were medically evacuated and treated in German hospitals. Ventilators and other supplies were provided and donated to partner countries. Slide 5, next slide. In April and May, the situation stabilized. However, the careful and gradual easing of public health measures was and continues to be of the biggest challenge. In general, Germany's population is taking up this responsibility very well. The details of which measures are lifted when and how are largely the responsibility of the federal states. We have 16 federal states. It is the local authorities that know their specific situation best. Overall, general physical distancing measures remain in place, but schools are allowed to gradually reopen under specific restrictions. The same applies to cafes, restaurants, cultural facilities, etc. To better cope with the economic impact of the lockdown measures, different economic stimulus packages have been introduced. We are currently transitioning to phase 4, even though some key factors, such as the mandatory wearing of community masks or the physical distancing measures of phase 2 and 3 still remain in place. Nationwide, we agreed on a threshold of 50 new cases per 100,000 inhibitions per week. If this threshold is met in a region, stricter measures should be implemented in the affected region again. Right now, this is happening in 2 regions in North Rhine-Westphalia. I mentioned the outbreak there earlier. Next slide. Phase 4 is characterized by preparedness and long-term containment. We are working on vaccination plans, also with regard to a potential second wave in parallel with the next influenza season. We are supporting and increasing local production of personal protective equipment. Enhancing digital solutions is one of our priority areas. Just recently, we released our Corona Warning app. With the app, people can be informed anonymously and quickly if they have been in the vicinity of an infected person. So far, 13 million people in Germany have downloaded this app. The more people use the Corona Warning app, the faster the chains of infection can be broken in the future. Another priority is the sustainable strengthening of local public health service capacities and capabilities. To identify national and international lessons from this pandemic is key in order to be prepared for future crises. Germany's EU presidency will be the opportunity to start this process together with our European partners. Therefore, and of course, COVID-19 is put high on Germany's EU presidency agenda, not only in the area of health, but in all policy areas. Our overarching goal will be to address the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic in a well-coordinated way and ultimately contribute to making the European Union stronger than it was before entering the crisis. In the area of health, we envisage focusing on the lessons to be learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. We have chosen 4 focal points in the area of health for our presidency. First, we will aim to strengthen our preparedness for any future pandemic and intend to discuss the strengthening of the European Centre for Disease Control during our informal ministers' meeting on 16th of July. Second, we will focus on securing the availability of medicinal products within the EU and discuss potential solutions to relocate the manufacture of active pharmaceutical ingredients to the EU. It is paramount to take concrete measures as swiftly as possible. Third, we plan to enhance both digital health and work towards a European health data space where we could like to come to an agreement on the development of a code of conduct for secondary use of health data. And fourth and last but not least, we will work on strengthening the role of the European Union in global health by continuing the efforts already undertaken by the previous trio presidency. Let us move on now to WHO. Germany remains a strong supporter and a friend of the WHO. As I have said, global cooperation is key. Therefore, we need a strong, efficient, transparent and accountable WHO today more than ever. A WHO that is able and enabled to lead and coordinate not only the response, but all the wider aspects of global health. Germany will give WHO the political, financial and technical backing that is needed. This comes with the clear expectation that remaining challenges will be adequately addressed and needed reforms pushed forward so that both the emergency program and WHO's work under the international health regulations can be strengthened. Together with my French colleague, we have discussed very concrete proposals to its Director General Tedros. We believe that the narrative on how WHO should be further strengthened needs to be driven from within the organization's own governance structure. This includes the need to follow up the implementation of the COVID resolutions in a transparent manner. Germany is a strong partner and supporter of this responsive WHO. Therefore, it is a pleasure for me to announce that we are supporting WHO with an additional 41 million euro for its core mandate till 2023. In addition to this, we are providing a further 25 million euro for the implementation of the COVID-19 strategic